This is a portion of the Jordan 1 vintage. A pair was sold for $185 in 2014, but may now fetch up to $2,000 on the secondary market. And here is the Yeezy Boosts 350 V2 Core Black Red, which sold for $220 in 2016, but is currently reselling for $900. The market value of the fragments more than doubled its opponents. Both of these shoes were offered in limited quantities, so why is the Jordan sneaker so much more expensive? It is dependent on the value of the Jordan brand and how it is manufactured and marketed. Its trademark shoes are manufactured in China, where tariffs are more expensive, in the best factories with more material. Basketball shoes often utilize more material than running shoes, and attempting to replicate the original product has contributed to the increase in price. Matt's research indicates that the average price of a basketball sneaker is around $110, whereas the average price in Jordan is approximately $145. To comprehend why Jordan brand may charge more, we must go back to the very beginning. Before the Jordan 1 was debuted, prior to the 1984-85 season, Nike signed an untested Michael Jordan to a 5-year contract worth more than 3 times the most lucrative contract. But this was not the only unconventional choice Nike made while developing the Air Jordan brand. The Air Jordan's victory was accompanied by a $5,000 punishment per game for violating the NBA's uniform regulation by replacing the customary white upper with a black one. Nike introduced a groundbreaking new basketball sneaker on September 15. The NBA banned them on October 18. Nike spotted this unusual marketing opportunity and paid Mike's bills as he won Rookie of the Year and played in every game for his band. Sneaker Ninja has just demonstrated this. People gravitated toward him because of his rebellious nature. They desired to wear them as well. It was essentially the first sneaker to radically alter sneaker culture. I believe it launched sneakers to where they are today because it was the first shoe that people desired more than the usual shoe. Mike's rookie performance had a significant influence on Nike's bottom line. In March of 1985, the original Jordan 1 retailed for $65, and by the end of 1985, the Air Jordan franchise had generated $100 million in revenue. After only 18 games, the Air Jordan 2 was not as successful as its predecessor. With his new look, Jordan experienced a season final. Fractured foot rumors circulated that Mike was dissatisfied and wanting to leave his current team for Adidas. The Air Jordan 3 was a turning point for Jordan and Nike. Enter Tinker Hatfield. Currently, he is recognized as the creator of contemporary shoe design. In the past, he was renowned for his contributions to Nike's Air Max technology. His Jordan 3 design became legend. It introduced the first mid-cut basketball sneaker with elephant print overlays, memorialized his airness in the Jumpman emblem, and put Tinker Hatfield's Air Max technology onto the sole. I believe these 3 factors contributed to the shoe's cultural significance since it made a fashion statement. Hence, you are essentially making a statement by wearing a basketball shoe, which was not necessarily the intention of wearing a basketball shoe in the first place. Nike's marketing department paired Jordan with Spike Lee for some of the most iconic advertisements in history. You are aware of how I prepare for a game. Are you aware? Are you aware? Are you aware? That is correct. Air Jordan. Air Jordan. Air Jordan. You witnessed the rise of Jordan as a premium brand in the United States. That was our designer sneaker, and it made the shoes highly apparent, which is a large element of conspicuous spending, which is to be able to see from across the room that someone is wearing a $100 shoe or a $300 shoe in contemporary vernacular. With all of this, the price of Jordans rose to $100, much greater than the leading basketball sneaker of the period. Converse's Weapon Jordan sneakers were positioned as a premium product to match Michael Jordan's ability and flair, creating a cultural phenomenon and mainstreaming sportswear. With his terrific smile and large hoop earring, he was a tremendously marketable figure. They aspired to look like him. Hence, you began to see this visage everywhere. In the 1990s, Jordans were so desirable that violence broke out around them. Even 2 teenagers were murdered for their Jordan shoes. Despite this, the occurrence persisted. Jordans were an unstoppable sign of social prestige. Whether you are in the fashion industry, the sports industry, or simply a fan of Michael Jordan, you must be familiar with the Jordan brand. You must own an item from the Jordan brand. Throughout the following 12 years, Hatfield continued to develop Jordan's iconic sneakers. The Jordan brand became a footwear titan, and Michael Jordan became the greatest basketball player in history. Their run lasted more than a year, yet that was about to change. In 2013, Adidas introduced new technologies, signed Kanye West, and began to see significant growth. Despite greater competition, prices in Jordan remained high. The price tag for that year's new Jordans was $250, the highest price for a newly launched Jordan signature shoe to date. Retro pricing. Jump 2 spaces. A retro shoe is a reissue of an original model. Every sneaker brand sees the resale values of their shoes increase, resulting in a price differential of $2 for $400. They desired more pie, so they began attempting to obtain additional slices. When Adidas released a large quantity of their products, more prevalent fashions during the era, that prompted many individuals to declare, "I'm going to cease buying Jordans for the time being and instead focus on these newer models that are comfy, hip, and trendy." Jordans wasn't selling as quickly as it had in prior years, so the company expanded production to balance sales, but it oversaturated the market. In accordance with Soul Collectors, from September through November of 2017, Jordan launched 30 retros. Price increases and an oversaturated market have boosted competition, resulted in what one collector termed Jordan fatigue, and nearly doubled Adidas's market share. President of Jordan brand Larry Miller said that the business had issued too many sneakers and needed to reconnect with youthful consumers. And Mark Parker, CEO of Nike, did exactly that. His edit and amplify method assisted Nike R&D in reducing 350 shoe concepts to 50. This enabled the firm to be more disciplined and keep up with the rapid pace of sneaker marketing. Jordan's secret ingredient over the years has always been unfulfilled demand, never having enough sneakers to satisfy the market, which drove kids to return for the following release in the hopes of obtaining. In 2018, Jordan made its return. According to Parker, the brand's Concord 11 throwback release was its most successful shoe launch ever, and they've been able to connect with a new generation by recruiting Travis Scott, Virgil Abloh, and others to present fresh interpretations of the classic designs. Currently, marketing a Jordan product is no longer necessary. Thus, it has become a pull market. The concept is that the product is so exciting and desired by consumers that it draws them in. The brand is attracting customers like before, and according to Parker Jordan, there are more cover tips than ever before. It is supported by data on resale. Remember the analogy we made in the introduction. It appears that Jordan strikes the proper mix between tradition and modernity. This must be my all-time favorite shoe. This is the white cement Air Jordan. Made Jordan 1 Biotech on the ELE. About the Air Jordan 1. It marks the beginning of Jordan's professional career. I find it fascinating to observe the Jordan brand's continued expansion into the women's and unisex markets. Well, it only reminds me of my youth. This is what actually hooked me into sneaker culture. That is the reason why sneakerheads exist. And this lake colorway, yeah, that's simply beautiful. The Jordan 1 is comparable to the shoe that sparked the current sneaker culture. I believe that is the primary shoe. A shoe-related frenzy or attachment as opposed to "this is a nice sneaker I want to wear." That is something to which people may easily relate. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel Hustle Originals, and don't forget to hit the bell icon.